Hello and welcome to the April edition of the Madaxeman podcast. This week we've got 6 of the 7 usual set of fools returning after a bit of a break, and we're, as usual, chatting about all sorts of stuff. There's painting, there's buying, there's shopping, there's going to trade shows, there's talking about competitions, there's some tourism in France, there's some very, very dodgy accents. We're discussing the return of the wooden horse. There are Cataphract Camels. There's the answer to the joke, what happened when Don Juan, Admiral Nelson and Octavia walked into a bar, and lots of other things, including possibly the world's longest ever 3D continuous print. So sit back and enjoy the eclectic April podcast.
This means war.
Well, it's April, isn't it? We've missed April Fool's Day, so most of our regular content will actually have to be real rather than made up. So that's going to be a problem for all of us, I suspect. But here we are again at the very beginning of April, barely a month after the last one. We're just rolling these damn things out at a ridiculous rate of knots, and I think we've got some news about extra ones coming up soon in the very, very near future as well. So there's going to be a cavalcade of podcast nonsense heading your way, but we've got a nearly full a kind of badger free set of 6 here for this month, week, fortnight, day, I can't remember which, this episode of the Madaxeman podcast. And without further ado, I think it's best to just start with, since we were around here at sort of the beginning of March, what kind of things have you been painting? And I'm going to go and ask Simon, because you are dominating my screen at the moment. You're the man in the big frame.
Hey.
So yeah, that's it. It's all good.
So I've been busy painting. No great surprise to anybody. More Renaissance, because it's not like we don't have enough of those. So I've been slowly working my way through the Curacao, later Louis XIV French, and that era of troops. So painted up a whole bunch of musketeers and sort of later cuirassiers. So some of them have got like a chest plate. They've got a rifle, got a pistol, armed, one or two in each hand, just to really give it that whole gangster effect.
Is there that much? Is there a lot of variety in those Curacao figures?
Yeah, compared to say like using museum miniatures as example, where you get one model. The Curacao ones tend to come with about 3 to 4 models per group. So you sort of shuffle them around. You can get a bit of flavour. So like one guy's holding a pistol up in his hand, one's sort of pointing it, one's off the side, and all that. So it gives you that mad rabble effect of a whole bunch of nobility off for a jaunt and just go shoot some peasants type of thing. So they look quite good.
And have you managed to resist the temptation just sod it, let's do contrast paints, it's just easy on everything, because I'm finding myself slipping down that slippery slope a little bit?
Yeah, well, since we I think in December last year you and I talked about contrast paints, and you put me onto them. So I did my Arab, or even earlier last year, so I did my Arab conquest in contrast paints, and more and more of my Renaissance guys are being done in contrast paints, because you get the effect quite quickly, and especially in the nice simple colors, which is what I tend to go for, like a bright red, greens, blues, and all that. When you do them on the mass, you go, well, at 3 foot, they look pretty decent.
Kind of works, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of works.
They all look quite good. So
okay,
those 3 musketeer figures you did were quite nice, with the cloak and the cross on them.
Yeah, they were quite nice. So one of the ranges, the Curacao ones, they've actually got the cross at the back of their coat, so you can have the 3 musketeers. You can have some normal guys as well. So
cool. You mean you didn't go for the Blue Moon ones that look like little cartoon figures?
No, I used this as an excuse because I was in America. Since I'm here, it'd be rude not to bring back some miniatures. So I did that.
Well, I think you could have got Blue Moon from the States, possibly, but I suppose then that's 2 orders and it's getting complicated. And you're out, you're doing the guy Andy over here in Old Glory, aren't you, out of a business?
Yeah, and since I can buy them through here in the UK, I'd rather support a local supplier. where with kerosene you can't really get them without correct order. So it's like, oh well, I'll get them.
All that kind of freaky stuff.
That'll be I've been adding to the later Renaissance. So I've been doing up some later Renaissance pike and shot units with 3 or 4 pike in the background, lots of drums, a couple of sergeants with a big halberd going, right, guys, let's go that way.
Okay.
Regimental artillery. So
so there's been lots of tiny little guns been bought and stuck to MDF.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can never have too many guns in my theory in my army. So yeah, they're going on quite nicely.
All right, and it's been a 25 mil free month then for you. Has it just been 100% 15, 18 mil stuff like that?
Yeah, I've done a lot of prepping. So I've gone through quite a few boxes of bags of Vitrix, Macedonian pike and phalangites, and there's a few bags of Thracians, Cataphracts, but nothing's been painted yet. I'm waiting for some decent weather to be able to do some spray painting,
outdoor spraying,
base coats and all that.
Yeah. I must have. I snuck in some varnishing earlier this week. All right, well let's rattle along. Andy, you're painting as we speak in the Finkel. I was going to say the Finkel painting kitchen, but then I suddenly worried about inventing a German compound word that I'm not quite sure what it would mean. Is it like where you paint
I imagine
your
German
dictionary?
No. Every German, good German dictionary probably have the word. Finkel painting, you're just throwing the paint on it in a random fashion. I've been painting. I finished off my 10 mil World War II stuff that I accidentally bought, not really realizing I already had too much of it. So I finished all the infantry for British and Germans, and I've just got the early war vehicles, which I did intend to buy. I've got them to do. But in the meantime, I'd already lollipopped these 15 mil Forged in Battle Vikings. So having undercoated them and slapped a bit of flesh on it, I'm now getting around to painting them. So that's my next job, to get them out.
So we can do a compare and contrast with Dave's Vikings, and then a bit later on he can tell you how effective they are in competition, possibly.
Oh well, I did okay with them in a competition, but there again, I kind of practiced a bit. And whereas Simon, I think he just grabbed the box from Gordon and he said, "Right, here are the Vikings." So he didn't have much chance to get acquainted with them before the actual competition.
Yeah, and if you don't get acquainted with Vikings, they can be a bit brutal and hairy, can't they?
Some horns went the wrong place, I can guarantee.
Yes, indeed. Yes, be careful which helmet you sit on, so to speak. Yeah. Right. Okay. So what paints, if this is the question of the week, what paints are you using for those Viking dudes?
Just
I think we had a conversation with Dave. We had a conversation with Dave the other week about using. You were telling us last month that you were using German Panzer colours for medieval Dark Age Vikings because they were all sorts of the right kind of colours. But Andy, if you've just done some Second World War tanks, you may actually be able to do them in British camo colours or something like that.
I haven't done the tanks yet. I mean, I actually have a bottle of Panzer Grey, which I'd use for the German tanks, particularly as their early war stuff before the before they went into Dunkelgelb.
The mysteries of Dunkelgelb. Okay, so has it been? Does that mean it's kind of been finishing off projects or new projects?
It's kind of finishing off projects. I haven't actually done a lot of painting recently. The only thing I bought some stuff from Fireforge, and they kept sending me emails every 5 minutes saying, "We've packed it up. It's in the post. It's now on the way to the post office.
Right.
It's crossed the border. It's in the Swiss depot."
Wow.
Gustav on his bike has delivered it to the lorry. When you get all these, string of emails, and it turns up about 10 days later, and it was all very informative. And
wow.
I bought some Ottoman cavalry, but they don't have lances, just for a bit of variety, and some MDF stuff. I got a trebuchet, war wagon.
Oh yeah, we were talking about
that war
wagon, weren't we? How does that little Fireforge one pan out when you've made it up? Does it look cool?
Well, I haven't made it up yet. That's one of the things I need to do. I'm trying to be disciplined and finish stuff I've started before I do stuff that I've just bought.
Okay. Do you think it will? Do you think it will need painting? If that's not a daft question.
I think it probably would. Yeah.
Probably would.
unless you wanted to look like sort of a just wood,
like it's made out of
genuine wood
MDF.
MDF color thing. I think it probably does need painting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to. Actually, we should come back to shopping later. Otherwise, we all get out of seat, don't we? Really.
Means war.
So, Tamsin, then, what about you in a month? I'm just trying to recall what it was last time. That was was it still most?
We'll come back in a half an hour's time when you finish.
Yeah,
well,
dead
last
Japanese
time,
people.
Last time I was it was early March, so I was beginning in the last couple of weeks of the Analog Hobbies Painting Challenge.
Oh my God, we're not going to have to go through what you did on the Analog Hobbies Painting Challenge, are we?
Just the last few bits.
Just the last
couple of weeks of it.
Only 2 weeks,
which wasn't surprisingly not.
Tamsin, we've only got 2 hours.
Was this when you were accelerating towards the finish line? No.
Yeah. So,
in fact, no. The big question is, how did you do overall in the Analog Painting Hobbies? As our representative on.
I finished 21st.
Out of what? 2.8 million, something like that.
Out of 80.
80. Way.
It was 80,
top.
No, 81.
Okay, so that's nearly a top quarter finish. But
it was lower than I normally finish, but I'd aimed for with a lot of the stuff I was doing. It was individual figures for
it wasn't
and going for higher quality higher quality paint jobs than I normally do. Sort of bulk.
Okay.
Bulk.
Just to batch stuff out for it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because there's more effort put into the bases of these dead guys than most of the figures that I've got. To be fair,
Japanese,
some dead Japanese guys as jump off points or ambush markers or whatever.
Oh,
the Germans did a propaganda company.
Propaganda company. That's a German compound word as well. Maybe that's the theme of the week.
Yeah.
And who makes a German propaganda company?
I got those from Colonel Bill's. The Japanese casualties were the assault group.
Yeah. Okay, good old Stu. Yep.
And some figure in this one is just for scale.
Yeah.
Printed out. Wow. So 1 to 270 scale Type S scout ship traveller, and I think it's roughly 1 to 800 scale for the little one that you can see.
So for our listeners, this basically looks like someone has made a Imperial Star Wars Star Destroyer out of a carrot and turned it upside down. Is that fair, or is that slightly harsh? Possibly.
Yes, there's a story behind. There's a bit of a story behind the color scheme.
Right. Okay. Then, that's the real deal. Right. Got you.
That's the real deal. The 28mm one.
Yeah, that's the mothership. I like that. Yeah.
There's a bit of a the color scheme came out as a bit of a joke because several people in the painting challenge were doing stuff for an odd skirmish game called Turnip 28.
Turnip 28.
Yeah, where people have been infested or infected by root vegetables. And I
imagine that there's some sort of synergy with burrows and badgers on that one as well, isn't there? And a lot of people don't make it through.
No idea.
No.
The figures look hilarious, but
right.
Surely the best army for that is the Swedes.
That joke has been made.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good, Andy. Thank you. I've been wondering when to bring the tumbleweed sound effect out again.
Jokingly said in the comments, okay,
that to be a service.
I'll join in and I will paint the 28mm spaceship.
Yeah,
like a carrot.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm not actually being unfair. Then that was a deliberate effort.
No, that was absolutely deliberate.
That's good. That's impressive. I'm pleased with that. Excellent.
So you can see it, and if you can,
does this open?
You can see the nameplates.
The Spirit of Carrotsville. Is that it?
Camberwell.
Oh, we've got bring me the finest wines known to humanity. It's all good.
Yep.
There's an engine.
So just some shots showing the interior.
Wow. Pieces. All sorts of stuff in that. Yeah.
It's very detailed interior.
My God, so you can have like little 28mm people running around in that and shooting each other with lasers and stuff.
Looks like the Excel Centre from above, doesn't it? Really?
Is this all printed? This all printed on your printer?
This is all 3D prints.
And you started printing this in what, last August or something?
I printed it. It took about, including reprinting bits, probably about 6 weeks. Did that last summer.
Wow, that is
so July.
So if you were buying that commercially off someone, that's a real investment in their time, isn't it? You'd really have to justify paying for that, and you would do.
It's not that much
time and effort.
It's not that much personal time.
No, true. The printer's just doing it.
Can I just ask, when you say it took about 6 weeks, is that the printer going non-stop for 6 weeks?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, really? Blimey. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that thought occurred to me.
Some downtime. I averaged about 20 hours a day printing.
Oh my God. So the downtime is when you just throw something at the printer because you can't sleep and you're just sick of the kind of noise, whatever.
Well, the downtime is where I'd put a print on and it would have finished some point in the middle of the night.
Right. You didn't set your alarm
when I was
just to maximize the time. Right.
And how much was how much were the sort of like consumables for that? How much did it cost?
For filament, used
8 pence.
Including
20 quid.
Including failures and the some
stuff,
support material. It's free spools. So depends what because I think I was getting them on a cheaper deal at the time. So it was about 16, 17 quid a spool. So that would have been
50 quid. Bish bosh, 50 quid.
Plus the cost of the electricity, of course.
Yeah. Electricity is possibly more than the filament.
Okay, so it's 100 quid to build like a spaceship you can almost walk around in yourself.
Yeah,
to all intents and purposes. Wow.
Yeah,
that is enormous.
To go with it,
yep.
I spent several days in the last week or so of the challenge printing off loads of bits to
around the hanger,
a small backdrop hanger.
Yeah, but it's not quite as big as the ship.
That was a lot of work for very few points.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The backdrop bit, 3 boards.
Just counted
10 points.
3 bits. Oh, hapless. Yeah, we need to have words with them. Just ring up. We'll have a phone-in campaign.
You can see a load of extra bits which are painted up to go with it. I also spent a lot of time designing and making some decals to go on it.
For sure. And lots of little people.
Yeah, so those were also filament printed.
Okay.
I don't think I'm not sure.
So there's a whole crew, and then some of them look like they're lying down as well, sleeping.
Yeah, so you've got sleeping pose, seated pose, standing pose, action pose.
Wow. So are you playing a role-playing game in which some of the a tabletop game in which some of the characters do have to sleep or something?
Or just for set dressing.
Oh, right. Okay. So just
and some aliens.
Yep. They look like
sort of face huggers and eggs.
Eggs, yeah, they do look like eggs and face huggers. Yeah, they probably glue on or something like that. And there's a whole set of punters there, and a door which that spaceship is very much not fitting through. I think.
Yeah, that's a hangar door, warehouse hangar door.
Yeah, that's just where you bring in the expendables. Okay, God, so that's an enormous project then, and then there's
that was an enormous project. All of the stuff that you see in that photo, and I got 700 points, which was just over half my total. No,
wow.
just over half my total points in the end.
So that's in the last month then. So that's been a pretty epic project, but with a pretty coherent theme actually, though. So that's pretty good. And I think you gave us a sneak preview of some stuff you bought. So
yes,
we know that there's a lot to come. There's a lot to come back to.
Last time, but I'd ordered the Block War expansion for Judge Dredd from Warlord.
Well, we'll come back
and
to that.
And that came in a week or so ago.
We'll come back to that in the shopping section then, I suspect. That's probably
Well, actually, because it's not so much shopping. This is stuff that's already...
Oh, have you painted it? Well, if it's arrived
I haven't painted it yet. I've started painting. Took a bit of a break after the challenge ended. And now I'm on to painting.
Well, you can tell us all about it
just
later
showing
when we get shopping.
The 3 boxes, so you can see it.
That's all good. Yeah, here's the mob.
This means war.
We're talking of resident mobs, Mr. Saunders, because last time we spoke, you'd not done painting in quite a while, but it looks like you're having a bit of a go at something as we speak on mute, possibly in the background, possibly also listening to Liverpool against Chelsea, I'm guessing, somewhere in the background as well. But first up, how is that going? No, you're still on mute, Dave. We're going to have to hear Radio 5 Live in the background, I think.
Oh no, I didn't realise I was on mute. Oh well, never
Oh,
mind.
okay. Yeah.
I still haven't been painting very much.
Okay. And the
So,
football's still not quite started, has it?
well, I don't even know. I don't think I want to know what's happening in the football.
They don't kick off until late. Chelsea and Liverpool don't kick off till late.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet.
But I'm just sort of sitting there painting some Vikings because some of my Vikings jumped ship in Le Havre.
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know which
They did a runner.
which Frenchman they went home with. Which Le Havre was one of those sorts of ports
as well. But never mind. So I'm actually short of some Lightfoot Vikings. So I'm actually sort of. I thought I'd run out of them. I thought I'd have to get another whole packet, but no. Turns out there's a few left over because I was saving you for rear support, and I've realised that you can't run a Viking army without rear support. So there's no point of having markers for them. So I'm just doing the flesh and things on those.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think I need to sweep Vikings aside.
Yeah.
Put them away for 6 months until I really need to get them and start painting something completely different.
Yeah.
And put my mojo back. So I'm looking at some Cataphract Camels because I think that's about as far away from
Vikings as you can get.
Ranks as you can get. So I think if that doesn't get my juices flowing again, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Okay. So you're digging the Cataphract Camels out of the drawer.
I've got this bloody wooden horse.
Oh, you've got the wooden horse. You've actually got the wooden horse
together.
Oh, and it's almost. Yeah, it's kind of.
It's got a few holes in there.
A bit of stuff to fill.
If there was anybody hiding inside it, they'd be completely visible.
They would, yeah. They can probably peek out or something like that.
But we're going to give that a go as well.
So the mojo's about to start then, potentially.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Ah, okay then.
Well, I was going to say, you were talking about World War II. Yeah. So we've got German field grey.
Yeah.
German uniform.
Yeah.
Reflective green, which is their sort of camouflage. Middle stone. Luftwaffe blue.
Yeah.
And German World War II camouflage beige. I find these colours really valid. They're fantastic.
Yeah. Really good for your Dark Age guys.
Yeah, exactly. They're really the tops.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, good. I think it's just looking around. So just thinking, so obviously I was there when some of those guys disappeared, but which is a whole other story maybe we'll come to later. But I guess over the last month or so, there's been all sorts of bits and pieces that have kind of gone across my paint desk. And some of them have made it onto the blog and the website. Some of them I've kind of offloaded to you a little bit. I've finished 2 lots of the Corvus Belli medieval figures from that box set, which I've got a sort of recollection we talked about quite a bit last month. So maybe I was in the middle of doing them about how the Cyocast figures are basically, it's just a different material. Did we have this conversation? Should we have listened to?
I think you mentioned they're the ones you picked up for a tenner at Warfare.
Yeah, I had. I picked them up for a tenner. Had I started them last month, or not quite sure?
I can't remember.
We had the conversation, but I can't remember whether it was on the pod or on the WhatsApp group.
All right. Oh, maybe then. Well, let's assume we talked about it on the pod.
I know that I've seen you posting them up on.
Yeah,
Facebook,
I posted them up on Facebook.
Your website.
So, yeah, exactly. So you can read about it, and the gist of it is, they're really nice figures because the Corvus Belli figures are really nice. I think they're early edition Cyocast, so they're quite soft. They're surprisingly soft, as in probably softer than Airfix Soldier soft. But these figures seem to work quite well. I've seen some different ranges that the plastic just didn't really seem to squeeze into the molds particularly well, but these are kind of chubby little round guys, and it works quite well. So once they're painted up, they do look just the same as normal ones. You can paint them on the sprue. Yes, we did have a conversation, I think, actually last month, because we talked about, Adam, you were talking about getting rid of the flash with using a hot
wire or something.
Hot wire or something like that.
Not last. That wasn't last time. I think it was might have been the time before.
Maybe I painted them bloody ages ago then. Yeah. Well, look, they're done and they look lovely. And I just think it's just a different material. So it's not really any different to metal either way, to be honest, as long as they work all right. I banged out some Samurai Bowmen, which were museum figures, which were really clean and simple and nice. I think Simon, we were talking about that at the weekend, how how nice the museum figures look. They're not as detailed as these old school museum figures. They're not as detailed as the Old Glory samurai that I've got for the main part of the army, but I had that part of the army painted professionally, and these are sort of ashigaru in kind of just tops and shorts and stuff. So it was easy for me to paint them because there's not much detail on them. And if you paint samurai with 3 little blobs of color in a triangle, it looks like you've done a clever pattern on them, which is kind of quite cute. And then I did some Roman clibanarii from Forged in Battle that took paint amazingly well. They're really deeply sculpted figures, and I did them with kind of a mix of normal paints and contrast paints, and they really came up really well for mounted Roman sort of impact / bow cavalry, a pack of 4. And I think Forged in Battle always put a couple of, unless I've just been lucky, but Forged in Battle always
a
seems
couple of extras.
You occasionally get a few extra figures.
Yeah, so I got, I think, 3 extra riders, which are all generals and commanders, and 2 extra horses, I think. And so I managed to sneak a general out of it, as well as having the proper unit, well, the 4 bases of 3, which was kind of cool, as well to do that. And then there's some, and I did some unarmed slaves because I realized that the Spartacus army that I did needed some bases of levy, and I'd not actually, well, no, it needed some bases of unarmed levy rather than armed levy. I didn't have any, so I got some from Donington and some from Zeiston through Donington, which was surprisingly compatible. And I think actually the Donington unarmed Roman civilians were even nicer than the Zeiston ones, which is kind of pretty cool as well. So they're sat there and they're kind of due to go out on the blog once I do some photos of them and get them out in a couple of weeks. But I think a lot of the other stuff I've been doing has just been traveling around and doing events and doing some actual real holiday stuff. But and some of that was events on the south coast, which is Mr. Warsdale. That's your territory. What have you been up to in the painting front?
Well, I'm actually quite pleased. I'm a bit sad to go after Tamsin because I was going to say, I've done loads, and then I heard Tamsin, and it's like, right, I've done not very much really, but I've done loads for me. I've done the bulk of my French 25mm late medieval French army. So,
oh my god, wow!
I did the Perry box of they call it Wards of the Roses infantry. Yeah. So I did 4 bases of 6 longbow as my ordnance archers. And they came out really well because they're sort of like mixed figures. Quite a few of them have got tabards or whatever they're called. Yeah. So I could get to do them in sort of like ordnance uniforms. So I've done them all with a French White Cross, but each base has got a different company colour, so they look similar but different. And they're really nice figures. Some are shooting, some are knocking, some are standing around looking hard. And there's extra things in, so there's a couple of clumps of arrows on the front of each bases, so they all look really good. Yeah. I then did 2 bases of Volguers, which is basically French for billmen. They're not as good. Because firstly, most of the boxes that Perry do for this late medieval, they sort of like deliberately make it so you can do several different nations, whereas this one, they're only armed with bills. So my French should have Volgs, but they got bills. So it's not a big end. I've gone with it. And some I cut off and stuck on other ends from other boxes, which was like, that was a bit, okay. I managed to get 7 on a base, which I was pleased with. There's no way there's 8 getting on there. But 7 makes
not at all.
7 makes it look really hefty. But the thing I didn't like about it was most of their arms, they're sort of like holding the bill, just holding it to the left. There's a couple with upright, but most of it is just holding it to the left. And when you put them on the bodies, most of the bodies are sort of like standing or not going very far. So I get the sense with that box, it's like a box of archers, and almost as an afterthought, they went, let's do some billmen as well. Okay. Because when the Swiss I did out of the mercenary box with the pole arms, I sort of like put 6 on the medium base, and I did them in a wedge as a keel, and they look like they're going forward. They look like they've got intent. Whereas these 2 bases, they just kind of look like they're standing there holding a bill, which is
And these are the French plastic guys then, or
yeah.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
It's supposed to be English War the Roses. I mean, and they're fine. They're a solid 6, maybe 7. But when you compare it to all the other Perry stuff, they've got movement and intent, and they look good. These are just a bit staid, really. So I think, it's more a box of arches with an afterthought of have some close order, and they look fine. They look like what they are. They look like they'll give you good hand-to-hand combat. Probably get beaten by knights. But they're good. But that was a bit. They're not as good. Then I did 5 bases of foot knights. I could only get 6 to a base on them because I tried putting on 7 and it just looked like one was hitting the other one in the back of the head with an axe. And he was taking his sword in his ear and stuff. So there's only 6. But again, they look good. They look like they're doing what they're doing, sort of like foot knighty choppy stuff. Painted them by spraying them chainmail silver. So they were quite quick, and I'm just on to the my bases of sort of like light horse and supporty cav. So that was all quite exciting. I'm really pleased that I've got so much done in such a short amount of time.
So is this like suddenly an army that's ready to go, or
Well, I'm doing general bases, and there were 6 crossbows left over from the mercenary, so I'm going to do a base of crossbows because you might need them.
You always need. You stick some pavises on them or something, maybe.
Yeah, well, there's
always
I might not even buy this. Just like they'll be the backup in case I need an extra base for because I'm swapping things out. And then I just need to do a cannon, which I'm going to get from Entoyment because I think the army's probably better without a heavy artillery, but it's an ordnance army.
You've got to have one, yeah, for sure.
And then the baggage, which I'm going to get the medieval tents from. Is it Bowder?
Renendra, is it? No, the tents.
No, not
Bowder.
Okay.
Millicent do them. Because weirdly enough, I was going to get a wagon from Perry's, but a lot of their non-plastic stuff they don't let retailers sell, so you can only buy it direct, which is a bit of a pain. And their post and packaging is mentally expensive. They basically charge you 25% of the price with no upper limit. And the cannon I can get from Entoyment, so I'll get that from Entoyment. And I was going to get the wagon, but then I thought no. And so the tents from Manchester Millington are a better idea. Plus, it means that I get to order some 10mm World War II stuff as well because I'm more Manchester Millington, so it would be rude not to.
I suppose it would. Yeah, they get some cute little chubby. I've got some cute little chubby German officers from them. I think their little infantry range is quite nice on that one.
Well, and I need some because I've got a few fur, I've got a few tanks. So I just because I think as you know I've got about 3 metric shit tons of Russians. So I need a few more Germans to fight them.
Yeah. Do you want the German officers, Adam? I've got far too many than I need. I can just send you a few.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Okay. So an effective session of painting for you then this session as well.
On the offering stuff out, one good thing about the Perry boxes is they give loads and loads and loads of banners that you can use as banners. So if anyone's ever doing a late medieval army, I've got as long as you don't want sort of like the Oriflame or sort of like a fleur de lis. If you're doing Burgundy or German, I've got loads of banners and they're really nice as well. So I can be your bannerman.
Okay. All right. Oh, good. Oh well, that's something to look forward to. Then good. Well, I think that's us all gone all around the houses and we're done and dusted with painting then. So on with the music. All right. Well, we're now on to the incoming section. We've done the brushed up section. We've got the incoming section because there's always stuff being bought and there's always interesting stuff being bought. And let's start top right for me with Mr. Saunders. Have you been tempted to get, or is your shopping kind of delving in your drawers and just pulling out Cataphract Camels?
Yes.
Yes. You're shopping for stuff you've already got.
I think I've actually still got quite a bit of stuff from Warfare last year.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's quite
I've still got. 4 heavy chariots, biblical heavy chariots to do.
Yeah.
3 packets of camels from Forged in Battle to do. Yeah, no, my the lead pile is full.
Yep.
I've actually cleaned off, Tamsin. I've cleaned off your printed.
All right.
Oh, the printed
made a
guy.
start of them. They're funky, actually. They're quite good.
Yeah.
But
actually, well, you've already got it primed and started painting. I've actually come across a trick with 3D filament printed ones.
Yeah.
Which is to give them before priming, give them a couple of couple of thin coats of Mod Podge.
Mod Podge.
Yeah, it's a type of PVA mixed with acrylic medium.
Okay.
Is that something you just invented?
No. It's something you can buy it. You can buy it in craft shops, stationery shops, online. So you can get it from Ryman's.
What's it called?
Mod Podge.
Not one of these German compound words, then? No.
No, that'd be like. Okay.
Because it self levels a bit, and a couple of thin coats will fill easily.
Do you need to thin it, or is it quite? Do you need to thin it, or is it quite thin? Or
it brushes on reasonably thinly.
Okay.
Just don't get a huge glob on your brush,
so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And if there's any sort of deep recesses like cowls of hoods, I try to clear out any pooling because it will run down a bit.
Okay.
But
all right.
It dries fairly quickly, cures fairly quickly. So
this is the magic ingredient to make 3D printed stuff look like it's not 3D printed. Essentially,
it gets rid of. It hides most of the layer lines. I haven't tried washes on. I haven't tried washes on the figures to see that, but it certainly takes out the worst of the layer lines. Hides the worst of the layer lines.
Okay, all right. Well, Mod Podge then. So Dave, it looks like you've missed the Mod Podge stage on that guy, but he's
that's what I needed
otherwise he's off and running.
You could potentially do it before you start painting the robes and so on. It looks like you've only done a little bit of a painting.
On those ones it is. But anyway, Salute's coming up.
Yeah. So what do you think? What's you got your eye on for Salute?
Paints, I think I need new red leather, Vallejo red leather. I've used up those. I don't think there's a lot of the historical. I mean, I imagine Forged in Battle will be there.
I think so.
Not going.
Forged in Battle's Westwind, isn't it?
Yeah. Westwind.
Yeah, they're there.
I think there's Westwind, Magister Militum, and Eureka. I think they're kind of the main 15mm guys.
Eureka's. Yeah, there might be some need for some Eureka stuff.
Yeah, Eureka UK.
Who's selling Eureka in the UK these days?
There's a company called Eureka UK. Yeah.
Yes.
Your company, right?
Yes.
But they sell all sorts of different things.
In the name, really.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed. I know they used to. I know Fighting 15s used to be their agents, but
they did.
A few years ago.
Nick found somebody in the UK to.
Yeah.
But I also think Eureka come over themselves, don't they, to Salute? Quite often. Sometimes, but I think now they've got a UK arm, maybe not. We'll find out in a few weeks' time, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen Nick Robson from Eureka Australia. He's been over every now and then. He's being English. I think he uses the trip to come over and say hi to family and tell some toys and drink some beer.
Yep.
So proper wargamer, basically.
Okay. All right. Proper trip. Good. So you're looking paint and see what Eureka have got on their stall.
I've got a whole load of AB miniatures to paint up, which I bought online. Someone's unpainted, got a bargain. So there's a plenty in the lead pile, but especially as I'm feeling a little bit. I'm in one of my lackluster areas, but that'll pass. It will just you've got to give those troughs a weight, and then you come back at it flying, don't you?
Yeah, no, I suppose so. Actually, you just get into a project like Simon did this month, or Adam's just done, and suddenly it's like. Bada boom, and it's off and running. Okay, all right. Well, Andy, what about you? What have you got a Salute plan? Have you got anything?
Yes, I haven't been to Salute for years, so I've got the opportunity to go this year. So I'm looking forward just to see really what there is to see. I mean, I think in terms of particular buying plans, it might be some miniature ships if I can find some of the right scale. I've started playing Nimitz. We played it last night. It went really well.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about that. Really good things.
Yeah, if you get yourself organised in the way you roll the dice, you can go really quickly. I mean, 4 of us, none of us had actually played a game before. did the basic starting scenario last night. We finished it within an hour.
Okay. And does it, because we've had that discussion about Rommel before, but does Nimitz feel more like a game rather than a board game? Or that's my big issue with Rommel. I just can't get my head around why it's not a kind of tricksy board game. But
I wouldn't think so. No, I mean it does the kind of things that you'd expect with a naval warfare, but it just does it in a very streamlined fashion. I think the whole, I mean, if you're a real sort of detailed type guy as to, well, we all know that the Bismarck had 6-inch armor here and 5-inch armor there, and a shell wouldn't hit it from 2 miles away, type of thing. It's not the game for you. But if you want to, I mean, because part of the attraction is the campaign game, and Jeff and I are going to try that and see how it goes. Where basically, you some of your task forces bump into each other. You then transfer it to the table and fight it out using Nimitz.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
what ships are you thinking of getting?
Pardon?
What ships are you thinking of getting?
Well, I've got the British, German. I've got a load of British, German, and Italian ships in 1/3000. So it's just kind of filling in some of the gaps in that, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you're what else is worth buying?
Isn't there some sort of weird thing about ground scale or something in Nimitz that you play?
Yeah, but there's always been ground scale issues in any naval game. Because if you're going to do it in proper scale to the ships, you'd need to hire the Albert Hall to do it properly.
Yeah. Okay. With holes in it or something. So do you think 3000th scale is
it does. I mean, in Nimitz, the gunnery ranges are 12 inches and 24 inches for big guns.
Okay.
And if you use 1/3000 scale ships, your battleships are about 4 inches long. It looks like mine are on a base. So, it does look a little bit odd in terms of ground scale, but no more so than World War II tanks.
Because for my World War II naval stuff, I went for the 1/6000 Hallmark stuff. So that even the battleships are quite small. But if it's not your main project and you're not wanting to model beautiful ships, I think they look quite good. And the ground scale is starting to look almost decent. And they're not too expensive. So if it's not your main sort of project, it's quite good to get a game on, I think.
Yeah.
No, I've been quite impressed with it so far in terms of how it's written and how it plays. So the basic game. So we'll see how the campaign works, but it's something I'm looking forward to having a go at. So so really going to Salute, it's going to be seeing if I can pick up anything there, and otherwise just see who's there and saying hi to people.
Yep. Okay. All right. Tamsin, have you got an old posties meet up at Salute planned in?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anybody sort of arranging a bloggers meet up at Salute.
Has blogging is blogging still a thing? Because I don't get many comments now. Well, no, because on my website.
I don't get as many comments as you used to. I think a lot of people have switched Twitter and
Facebook,
Twitter and Facebook
a lot. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, isn't it? Yeah.
Facebook, but still do get people commenting on the blog, and a lot of people still post on their blogs. So
I think I use mine as kind of a diary of what I'm doing, but
essentially
the comments on it have just dropped off a cliff, really. Over the last year or so, but bloggers are still a community, but you probably chat to each other on Twitter or something else. Yeah. Okay. So is there anything you've got in the shopping target list then for?
Few bits and bobs. General stuff. Nothing really on figures front. Yeah. Though I have placed Warlord last week or week before announced the pre-order for the second wave of Block War.
Oh, right. Okay. So you got a load more Judge Dredd stuff to coming your way.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Judge Dredd
birthday present to myself, which is, I think they got it down for my collection of one of your pre-order collection options is collect at Salute.
Oh, and there'll be a lot of people walking out with that stuff then, I bet.
Yeah. So whether they've got it goes on general sale at Salute as well, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That'll be interesting then.
So mostly it'll be, I think, one bit I want to look at is the mats from Deep Cut.
Yeah, okay.
Or others, just see.
Yeah, because Deep Cut don't come over to many shows. I think they come over to Salute and Warfare, Partisan. And that's about it. Not even sure they do Partisan, actually. It might do, but there's only
they have done Partisan.
Maybe they have done Partisan in the past, yeah. and they don't come over to many, but they do come over with stock. So I think we're trying to do something with them at BritCon to do some sort of post-free pre-order type thing that we're trying to work up for people who are going to that. So look out for news of that one in the foreseeable future once we tie it down. So yeah, okay. So you could be walking out with a mat rolled under your arm and a load of Judge Dredd boxes clanking in a Warlord's box. Warlord's Salute box.
I wasn't certain whether I would be going to Salute.
Yeah. Okay.
So I put down for courier delivery. I might change now that I am going to Salute. I might change that. Might change that.
Wow. Okay.
But apart from that, I maybe a couple of terrain bits and so on, and maybe it's probably going to be a couple of paints. I look to see if anybody's got individual pots of. I want to try either Vallejo Express color paints.
Oh yes, that's the new stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
The new and Army Painters Speed Paint 2,
which isn't supposed to run, I imagine.
Which is supposed to have fixed
the issue that
reactivation issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. From reviews I've seen, it seems to have. I just want to get a couple of colours.
Yeah, give those a go
to try them.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. I just think from my point of view, what have I got? I may actually miss Salute because Fulham Leeds is on that day and it's 12:30 kickoff, so that's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And do I really want to schlep all the way across to East London for 3:30 just to go around the dog end of Salute? But the only advantage is Salute open till 4 or 5? Because everybody goes till 4. Oh no, then. But everybody goes at 10 o'clock. There's an enormous queue. It's really, really busy until 12:31. And then it tails off immensely, but all the traders are still there and you can get to their stands. So to my mind, I just can't get my head around why people don't go, well, I'll go at 2 or 1:30 or something like that and just stroll in. Everybody queues for 10 o'clock for their 2 and a bit hours of Salute and then buggers off. And there isn't a question of stuff being sold out or anything, is there? There's not special offers or...
Sometimes you miss out. Often Salute will have like the free model. So if you're the first 5,000 visitors, you get the little 25mm model they've made that week.
But 3 hours of my life in a queue versus going onto eBay and buying it for a £5 the next day.
So, actually, that answers my next question, which is, what time should I rock up? So I reckon it'll be about 12, half 12, something like that.
Oh, you'll stroll in, and it'll be sort of calming down.
After half 10. After half 10.
Anytime after half 10, 11. Yeah. That's that sort of.
Most times that Dave Saunders and I have rocked up, we normally arrive midday-ish, so mooch around for an hour, then we get attacked by a pub and rehydrate pints.
Yeah, you're done, aren't you?
Rather than being in the queue for 2 hours just to get them there first, not happening. Don't care.
No, can't be fussed. No, actually, the only other thing I bought or am buying or in the process of buying is a mate of mine is doing an order from Peter Pig, so that's coming to me to ship on to him out of the country. And I've added, Peter Pig have just released a couple of packs of Macedonian pikemen and commanders that, I don't need them at all, but I like the Peter Pig style of figures. So I thought if someone else is ordering, I'll order a couple of packs and see what they're like and kind of add them to my, set of too many pikemen already. So I will potentially have some of Peter Pig's brand new 2-pack strong Hellenistic range ready to talk about next month, possibly, as long as they come and they paint up quite easily, which I suspect they will, because they're kind of, almost sort of mini Zeiston-esque figures in terms of the depth of the castings and all that sort of stuff. So that should be kind of interesting, and see if that range develops any more, really, from the guys at Peter Pig. So let me think, who else we got?
Going to do a whole range.
Well, presumably, I can't imagine it's going to be, a pack of 2 people. So, and they've got Parthians and a couple of Germans and a couple of other bits as well. So they've got Romans, Republican Romans, or later Imperial Romans. So they've got bits and bobs, but it's interesting to see them starting up a kind of classical range, which isn't something they've really looked at for an awful long time.
This means war. This
So, Simon, you talked about your salute arrival strategy. Have you got anything that you've got in mind in the shopping queue as well?
Not particularly. I can see myself getting attacked by heroics and Ross miniatures because there's a new version of Cold War Commander. So not that I need more, like most wargamers, I don't need any more 6mm. But while they're there, maybe a 6mm C-130 or something along those lines.
Okay.
Just flesh out the army. And I think to some degree, it's just going to be enjoyable to wander around and see, especially after COVID, see what traders have come along, what they've brought, what new toys they've brought. I'm half tempted by some of the random sci-fi ranges, like from Corpus Belli and that, because Osprey have released their new version of Dragon Rampart called Xeno Rampart.
Yeah, so that's true. Yeah,
generic sci-fi skirmisher model, and it might give me the excuse to buy some of those ridiculously overpriced mecha robots, which I'm renowned for. But if I only need one or two might fall in the bag and come home with me.
Yeah, that's true. Just a little. Yeah, I suppose that's the advantage of a show, isn't it? You can pick out some of those kind of mecha models that you wouldn't do necessarily browsing a website where there's the pay the credit card, do the postage, did it for two models, that sort of thing.
Interesting also if anything to fancy, like a couple of salutes ago, you're walking past and I found Bad Squiddo Games was there, so I bought some bottles because it had a whole bunch of bunny rabbits armed with carrots, and so that's my fancy, especially with my email address. Versus my continual habit of chewing on carrots. And occasionally you find some bonkers models. You just go, I've got to have that. Just doesn't. I don't know why. I just need to have one. So
Okay.
I bought a Viking Commander, a Bad Squiddo one at Beachhead last year, of a Shield Maiden, rather large 25mm figure carrying a sort of severed head. It's a nice thing to add to your Viking army.
I had a look at those recently for the Vikings. They are quite funky. Yeah, they were. That was an idea. I think the painting competition at Salute's really good as well. The cabinet's full of painting competition. That's always good fun.
Yeah.
Okay. They've got a load of talks at various points throughout the day this year.
Oh, right. That'll be an interesting experiment because I'm just sort of skeptical that actually works. At wargaming shows.
They did it at Beachhead, and they've done it for a few years at Beachhead, so they must get some response.
Possibly. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things you say is a good idea and people go along and then they don't go along, but I don't know.
There was a historian at Beachhead doing things, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Down in the basement.
But no one knows how well it's been received.
No comment.
Yeah, interesting one.
Well, they've done it for more than 1 year. So
true. So it must be something. Maybe it does work. Yeah, interesting. All right, Adam. What about you? You've got buying on the horizon now. You finished an army.
Well, I do, and I'm after some advice as well. But first up, I would just like to say, Salute. My plan for Salute is just don't really just say no. I mean, Kensington Town Hall, lovely. Olympia, willing to do that, but it's like what even bloody tube line is it on? I just can't be.
East London.
It's now on the Elizabeth line. You can go direct
the Elizabeth line now.
All the way line? Elizabeth line, direct from Reading.
Oh, I've left London since before that. It's like that's
science fiction.
Rumor it doesn't exist as far as
science
I'm
fiction.
But
my
next army, so I'm going to do late Imperial Roman. So I'm going to roll that on to doing Patrician as well, because there's a lot of crossover figures. And if I do the Patrician, I'm going to get some bow arm Romans. So I'm also going to do early Byzantines as well. So special 3-for-1, buy 1.5 armies, get 3 sort of deal.
So is this 28s or 15s?
28s.
28s. Okay.
Because I've already got, and I must have bought them when they're on sale. I've got a load of is it Gripping Beasts that did the old
they did
boxes?
Yeah.
So I got Heavy and Light Cav and some Fur, and also Wargames Atlantic did. So I got a box of them as well. So that's almost sort of like Roman combat foot sorted out. But advice I'm after is this, because I'm bugging if I can paint the shield designs. It's just not going to happen with my skill, so I need to buy some. But the little big man, I think they sell the foot ones in packs of 24. So I don't want all my auxilia with the same shields. I want sort of like different shields.
Is it 20?
And I know some people, I can't remember who, was it Veni Vidi Vici did sort of like transfers for Roman shields. So just, and like even the sort of like the horse, I'm going to have 12 close order and probably 4 skirmishy type horse, maybe 6. And I don't want them all with the same shield pattern. So has anyone got any idea for, so I might only want 4 of one or 3 of one shield pattern. Any idea for who might do something that's useful?
Is it Battle Flag? Am I thinking, is that the one who do
Flags of War?
Flags of War, Battle Flag?
War Flag? Is that it?
Battle Flag. Battle Flag. It's wargametransfers.com. Is that the
what do they do then?
And they do water slide transfers for Victrix Early Imperial Roman, Victrix Greeks, Victrix Gallic, Agema Early Imperial Roman Cavalry, and they're water slide in packs of 12 that fit First Corps and other people's possibly. But yeah, wargametransfers.com. What else do they do? Do they do things for Fireforge? Dark Ages, Victrix Vikings, Fireforge Byzantine infantry. They do some quite funky Scutata shields.
That might work, although it might be a bit late because I need it sort of Romany as well.
Yeah, they might be. I think if you want very, very late Romany, then Little Big Man do a kind of a random set of like Chi Row ones that are all different. That's really, really late.
I want them to look like units, like maybe 2 bases being the same unit. So I don't want 24 all of the same, and I don't want 12 different ones. I want there's a unit with the Chi Row, there's a unit with the Eagles, there's a unit with the little roundy things with the things. I'm not sure it's possible.
I've used the Veni Vidi Vici ones are quite good.
Okay.
But I think, don't Little Big Man do a sort of Arthurian one?
Yeah, that might have been the one I had actually.
So the Arthurian is sort of more mixed up, which is what you're after, Adam.
No, actually, the late Romans are in 12s.
Yeah.
Are they?
For 25 mil, yeah, because you don't get 24 on a sheet. They're in 12s. So you may actually be all right with LBMS.
That sounds just what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
they're
£3.
But
again, for the mounted, I might get the Veni Vidi Vici water because it's like if I've got 4 mounted cav, I want them in sort of like either 2 groups or maybe even 4 groups.
Yeah, you do. Each one's an individual unit,
three, rather than them all looking like they're in the same unit. But I'll keep looking. But
I think they do things for plastic late Roman cavalry. They do an absolutely mixed set, completely mixed, or they do a 12 of each one. So it's entirely possible. So you may be able to get to be able to not waste too much stuff of Veni Vidi Vici. And only £3 a sheet. That seems cheaper than I remember them. Actually,
that's not too bad.
I thought there used to be a lot more than that.
Yeah. Next advice, and this is more gaming and shopping advice. Yeah. With the petitions, I'm going to do an ally because I want it to be different to the late Imperial.
Yeah.
What would be better? Heavy impetuous foot, 6 of them, or 5 heavy impetuous foot elite? What do you reckon?
5 elite.
But don't you get 6, and then if you're using 5 elite, you just call them, you don't use one of them and say these are elite.
No, I'll probably buy enough to do 6. But it's
so it's gaming
on the table.
I think elite is the thing to go for because the other ones
they'll live longer.
The other ones are just a bit of a roadblock, but they can go down.
An ally with one which is a general included.
Because a general included can also, because you can also have 1 or 2 armored. So armored elite included general.
Well, I think armor might, from my experience at the weekend, armor might almost be overkill because people are going to drive cataphracts at them. Thing. So the armor's sort of a bit wasted, and
how did your included generals do?
I didn't have included generals because I thought they were going to die. So I didn't have any included generals at the weekend.
Where is an ally, Adam? I think an included general's a good idea.
If it's an ally, maybe you're right.
Just those points.
I mean, that's the whole point of having them as an ally rather than internal hairy Germans is you can include the German, really.
Yeah,
exactly.
I might do that.
Go and fight.
Yeah.
Another thing that I noticed that I've also always kind of known, but it came home to me a couple of days ago, was that when I was in tournament, just how expensive plastic figures are now.
Right. Okay.
Because I was sort of like looking around in tournament because my girl was doing a county cricket training just down the road. That was like my waiting room. And I looked at Victrix have got a new Parthian light horse, Scythian light horse, sort of like pattern. I looked and went, oh, that's quite nice. And for 12, it was 27 quid.
Okay,
which is kind of more than £2 a plastic figure, which is still a lot cheaper than the metals, it must be said. But that's starting to get to that isn't
seriously
a bargain.
Expensive that is.
So it's a case of you can only buy a pack of plastic figures if you can lose them all. You know what I mean?
I can see what you're saying with that one. Yeah.
And I thought, are they particularly expensive? And I looked around, and no, they aren't. That's kind of the price point now, which is like, on this note, by the way, I was going to get for my early Imperial Romans, to round them out, I was going to get a couple of bases of bows. So I need 12 bows, but they sell them in box of 24s.
Sorry, 12 what? Boats
going off on
12
early
what?
Imperial,
what type of boats?
Early Imperial Roman bowmen.
I've got two bases of them, 12 that I got from Jeff, but I can pass on to you because I've already got loads. They're already painted. They're done.
25 mil.
Yeah, 25 mil. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's an even better.
Done. I can dig them out. Yeah, I've got too many. Jeff didn't want them. I picked them up off him when we were doing all the Clive malarkey, and I've been thinking, what do I use them for? Because I've already got some. So they're yours. Done.
And they're early Imperial Romans.
Yeah, they are. I think they might. Are they metal? Or are they heavily based plastics? But yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they look absolutely fine.
One thing, when I was sort of starting to plan the early Imperial Roman armies, Victrix have got some new late Imperial Romans coming out.
Yeah,
which is they're slightly too late. Sorry, but I can't because I've already got stuff. But you know, with the Gripping Beast Romans, at first I thought, "Fuck, there's too many bowmen in this box."
Yeah.
Excuse my language. Jesus, there's too many bowmen in this box. But because there's 16, and I thought that's just too many.
Yeah.
But then I started doing some sums. I'll have a base of bowmen because it might be useful. So that's 6. That's down to 10. A couple of bases of skirmishers. That's down to 6.
Yep.
6 tokens to show rear support. Actually, they're all used.
You've all used them, yeah. Well, so I think I had 2 of those box sets, but I ended up cutting because they're plastic, and it's a weird one. You kind of forget that they're plastic and what you can do with it. But I ended up snipping off the hands at the wrist and then putting on hands with javelins on them. And they're a bit of a funny pose sometimes, but you can use some of the bowmen to be, you have to sort of carve off the bow case as well, but you can use some of the bowmen as kind of weirdly dynamic javelin men as well, which is kind of, they've got a bit of
as I say, it's like, don't need to. I thought there were too many, but it's like,
but there is enough anyway. Yeah, I
will eat those 16 in rear support. And here's one for Dave, by the way, because I've been looking around. Because to do the patricians, I wanted quite late patricians, so they're bow arm cav, and I was going to use a bow arm cav for the quite late for the early Byzantines as well. And then I thought I might as well do the Byzantines.
Same figure.
Sorry,
same figure.
No, well, what model? Yeah, same figure. So that rolls over. But then it's what models will I use for the Bucalarii or whatever, however you pronounce it. And Dave, I've heard you go on about how you want to do this army, but there's never been figures that look right.
No,
so I've been looking around. Have a look at the Aventine 28 mil range.
That's always the answer, isn't it? That's always the answer. Yeah,
beautiful early Byzantines, and it's like, them. They work.
Aren't there some new Fireforge ones coming out, or are they a bit cartoony?
I thought Fireforge were doing sort of like later, sort of like
maybe later. Okay,
and they do look kind of different, really. But I might be wrong. But most of their range is sort of like that end.
Yeah.
So
the Aventine Sassanids are really amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. They're stellar.
Because I've been looking at them thinking, because I do want to do a Sassanid army as well, because I want to give my Romans and Byzantines an opponent. And I've been looking at them going, oh, they look nice. And then I've been looking at how much it would cost to do it in a whole army.
Exactly,
Jesus.
Ooh,
now, I'm saying that plastic's quite expensive, but fuck
But full metal Aventine would be really quite something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And it would be that would require going on the insurance, very much so. So all right, well look, I think that's gone round. Has that gone round everybody who's shopping? I think it has. We're not missing anyone. So I think on that note we can probably move on and go round to all the places that we've gone round.
This means war.
So we've done painting, we've done shopping. Let's do actually rolling dice and playing stuff. So we've had a one day at the club. We just this minute had roll call, and there's been a bit of a French expedition, which there's a whole separate podcast coming about, which is a little bit weird, which we did trail earlier. But maybe start with Andy. You went to the one dayer and then you list checked for roll call, so you didn't play there. But how was your one dayer?
Mixed, a win, a draw, and a defeat.
Okay.
The game I lost was to Peter, but since he's the world champion, I'm not going to get too upset about that.
Yeah.
What
did you use?
Good question. I'm trying to remember what was the theme.
It was medieval, late medieval.
Meta, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. I used Milanese Condottieri, and I had a win in my first game. No, I drew my first game, won the second, and lost the third. And I think Peter either won it or came very close to the top.
Okay.
Can't remember.
All right. Somebody did very well with it. All right. Okay. Anybody else go to it and remember? Dave, did you go?
I went. I took the medieval Spanish. I enjoyed playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did quite well, but I can't remember.
I think you were second or third or something.
I think I was, but I've done so many competitions and things recently. It's like blurring.
Yeah, and the real surprise is that Richard Case came well down the order.
Yeah, he was using an experimental army, wasn't he? Hussites, I think.
He was using Hussites with a trebuchet.
Yeah. I think that was a novelty.
We had fun. We had fun.
It was good.
I think because it was a one day, everybody took weird and wonderful armies except me when I took my classical one.
Oh, Jesse won it, didn't he? That's right. Jesse won the whole thing.
That was it, Jesse. Yeah. All right. And then Dave, so that was your one dayer, and then you did roll call. Just kind of soon as well. So that was good. How did you?
Yeah, roll call.
I
really enjoyed roll call. I really enjoyed the theme. I thought the Roman. It was just great having. I mean, yes, there was a lot of Romans. There were a lot of Huns, a lot of Romans, a lot of the usual suspects. But I thought it was really good having all the legionaries on the table because it made a really pleasant difference as a theme. I really enjoyed the theme. I really enjoyed the competition.
Yeah, because it was the Roman pond. It was armies in the era of the Romans who could have dipped their toes into the Med. Was the gist of it. So it sort of cut out the more horsey, Sassanidy type stuff and some of the other stuff that's a bit further east or a bit wild and woolly into Africa or whatever. But it just meant but you still got sort of the Seleucids and the early Romans and late Romans and some of the Huns, but not the Huns with elephants and those weirdy things in. So people seem to have some proper line up and fight armies, but it did end up with quite a lot of the cavalry Hunnic armies doing well as well, which was unusual.
That was a real surprise, I thought, because I didn't expect. I really didn't expect those armies. I mean, it's not the way I would have run it, and even if I had a Hun army, it's not the way I'd run a Hun army either.
Yeah.
So
were they run as Hunnic or were they run as German?
They were
Hunnic.
Basically, the armies that did well was sort of everybody on a horse with a bow.
Yeah,
most of them elite.
Yeah, it's really unusual.
So which really put paid to my theory that cavalry bow have gone out of fashion in version 4 and don't really work.
Yeah,
and then they just ran away. In fact, Hubert got 156 points.
Yeah, Hubert had won by the end of round 4. He didn't even need to play round 5, but he did and won it anyway. But he couldn't have been caught after round 4, which is, I suppose, if you've got an all cavalry army, that's textbook, isn't it? You just can't be caught. That's the way it works. But I tried to see if the reduction in points for medium swordsman impetuous in version 4 had broken the rules by making them a super troop type, and I'm glad to report it hasn't at all. It was an interesting experiment which I may not repeat. But I did manage, but in the last game I did manage to have 19 medium foot impetuous warband on table, which was kind of a good number, and 2 heavy forband as well. So I managed to dismount some cavalry. and I just sort of poured all these warband at people. And if they had horses with pointy sticks, that didn't really work. And and if they had other stuff, it occasionally worked. But it was entertaining.
I heard you threw an included strategist, or he must have been attached to units.
Yeah, no, he was
at Stephen's army trying to break it. And
well, it was. We're in the very last game, and my army was going to go down, and I needed 1 point to take Stephen's down.
Yeah,
and his thing to take my army down, I think he had an elite cataphract with a general going into the flank of a disrupted medium foot swordsman. And he needed to win that combat to win the game. And it was chances are he would. So I thought this is the time to put the strategist in and roll a 6-1 and get a draw and scrape another round out of it. And it didn't obviously work because I was it changed a -5 combat into a -4 one, which it's not massively weighting the odds in my favour for a win, really. It went from a 6-1.
I didn't realise I didn't realise the army was quite so close to defeat at the time. But
no, it was gone. It was literally gone. I needed to overturn a -5 difference.
Well, pardon the pun, you don't want to die not knowing, do you?
No, exactly. He was never going to die not knowing, so that was fun. And I missed the one dayer as well. So Simon, you went to roll. Did you do the one dayer, or did I'm trying to think if you did the one dayer or did you just do roll call?
I couldn't do the one day because of work. Because I was working the weekend, so I came along to roll call and held up the club motto by being the most competent in the 25 mil. Good. Barely getting into triple digits on the 5th round, and somehow managed to absolutely suck completely playing with the Vikings. So, so the period we had was any army 1066 AD.
Yeah.
So I was expecting a whole bunch of mad Byzantines and Normans and all that. And in the end, it was basically a 2 Vikings, a whole bunch of 4 samurai, a Byzantine, Indians, a mad Chinese army, and a couple other ones. And it was just quite an interesting period. So my Viking plans have gone back to the table, and I'll be rethinking them.
Yeah, there's a different way to use Vikings. There's a different way to use Vikings, isn't it?
Now we know why the Vikings didn't colonize China. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. And in fact, going back to it, so Dave, you had a Viking outing when we went to Normandy.
Yeah,
I guess we better briefly
did really well.
Yeah,
they did really, really well. I mean, got to the final game. If I'd won that final game, I think I would have come 3rd, but I ended up coming 9th out of 30, which I thought was quite good in France.
Yep.
It's playing in a completely foreign language. There's even less English spoken than the Spanish spoke English.
Yeah.
But
it was fun, wasn't it?
We had a terrific time. It was a proper road trip and a real laugh.
Yeah.
Loved every minute of it.
The Bayeux Tapestry.
Absolutely stunning.
Just, it's so weird to be sat in front of it when, you see it so often, but then suddenly you kind of get halfway around and you go, no, but this is really it. It's like 6 inches away, okay, behind glass, but it's really that thing. And although the one thing I thought we did talk about, I mean, maybe we talk about it when we basically recorded a podcast, me, Dave, and Mike Bennett, in a series of pubs and bars in between games and walking around German coastal defences and the Bayeux Tapestry. So it's somewhat incoherent and there's quite a lot of background noise. And it gets a little bit repetitive as well because we sort of forgot, but it's there, and that'll be out shortly after this one, I think, with all the battle reports. But yeah, Bayeux Tapestry, German coastal defences, Rouen. We'd managed to almost miss where what's the name had been burnt at the stake, Joan of Arc. Pegasus Bridge, which has been moved. Just away. They've got another new version of Pegasus Bridge. I think the old one was MDF. Possibly it was starting to go soggy in the Normandy rain, and a Horsa glider, and some great games in a Norman themed competition. So you took Vikings, I took actually Normans, William the Conqueror, and Mr. Bennett took Sicilian Normans, I think it was, Sicilian Normans, which was basically a better version of mine army, which he proved in the very final game, to end up walking away with the trophy from it. But no, it was just a cracking long weekend. I only kind of challenge by the fact that we nearly ended up getting stuck in France because there was a French fishermen's strike and they were blocking the port, and we kind of got to the ferry and the guy went, "Oh, there is a strike. You may not go today. Maybe you will, maybe not." And we're like, "How do you know this?" They do this all the time. Maybe they stop. Maybe they know. Who knows? It was pretty chilled, but then
It was a half-hearted strike.
Did he also say, if you do that accent again, you are never leaving this country and you will stay in prison forever?
No, they all speak like that, mate. They all speak like that. It's exactly like that. We use the accent in pubs and bars. They love it. They really love it. So no, it's fantastic. It was really, really good. But the Northern French are just totally separate to everybody else in the ADLG world. They didn't know, they were like, "Oh, who are these strange people coming over?"
Yeah.
One guy was like, I was taking photos, and one guy goes, "Oh, you have a blog?" I was like, yeah, it's this one. Wrote it down. He goes, "Oh, that's interesting. I'll have a look." And I don't really want to go big on the "do you know who I am" thing, but kind of go, "Oh, I've never heard of that. I've never seen it. No one's ever mentioned it to me before ever."
Nobody going, Mange tout. It's Dave from the podcast.
Yeah, Dave from Le Podcast. So yeah, we'll get that out fairly shortly after this one, I think, as soon as I finish doing all the write-ups to tie it in, and that was absolutely a hoot. And other than that, I think it's been an entertaining bit of gaming going on over the last few weeks. Which now we've done the gaming and we've done the French bit, it must be time, Adam. I'm going to do it again for the music.
Question, comment les voir? Question, le trou est sans fond. Question, la légende le dit. Question, elle dit aussi. Question, c'est une maladie. Question.
Right, Monsieur Finkel, in the Finkel kitchen, whatever it is. So I've, as usual, this has become sort of a 2-layer sort of meta quiz, and the first question is, can we remember what the last one was about? And I think, was it the last time we gave the answers to the wrong edition or something like that?
It could well have been, yes.
Yeah, it might have been, but we're not that.
This is what happens when we don't do this for a while. But
no, exactly,
yeah. No, I only know because I've got it on my iPad here, and it was Beware the Ides of March, because we did it in March time.
We did it in March, yeah, it's true.
So the 3 questions. The first one was, when Admiral Byng was shot by a firing squad on the 14th of March, the writer Voltaire commented that the English feel the need to shoot one of their admirals from time to time to encourage the others. And the question was, in what year was Admiral Byng shot?
No idea.
Not a clue. Not a Scooby.
Hamzin?
1740 something.
1757. It was during the 7 Years' War.
Close.
Right.
Okay.
Good. Right. On the 18th of March, 1915, how many Allied battleships were sunk in the attack on the Narrows near Dardanelles?
10.
None.
3. 3's quite a lot.
3. Yeah, it was 3.
3. Okay. 3's quite a lot.
Yeah, they all hit mines.
Right.
Yeah. And then, at which battle on 15th of March, 1781, did the British Army win but suffered over 25% casualties?
Guildford Courthouse.
Yep. Well done.
Oh. Proper answer. Okay. Well, that means le last week questions sont finis, and on with the music.
Question, comment les voir? Question, le trou est sans fond. Question, la légende le dit. Question, elle dit aussi. Question, c'est une maladie. Question.
Before we just go on, I would like to say though that I lived in Guildford for 6 months and I've seen the courthouse, and they don't mention the battle at all. They just don't. Yeah, no, not a plaque, not a blue banner or anything.
Nothing. Okay. Well, that may have just stymied Andy's next question.
Well, fortunately not.
Which battle sites don't have blue plaques? But no, Andy, hit us with this month's questions.
Right. Well, the theme. Well, given that Roll Call was all about the Roman pond, this episode's theme is pond dwellers, and it's all to do with people who have some connection with the Mediterranean.
Waterfly larvae.
Yep.
Yeah. We're not military.
I just remember they're sort of like the big bullies of ponds. That's the only thing I remember from doing ponds at primary school when I was
I wish I'd known that before I set these questions.
Do they eat tadpoles? No. Right.
They eat everything. They just eat everything. They're just like
Okay.
Right, well, that wasn't one of the questions. But
Right.
Sorry.
First question is: which head of state in World War II served as an officer in the Ottoman Navy in First World War?
I think we've had this before, haven't we?
I don't know. It's a mystery one.
Right.
Okay. All right. Intriguing. Yeah.
Right. The second question is: the poem whose first line is "The boy stood on the burning deck" relates to a naval battle in the Mediterranean.
We've had this before.
No, get back in your box. Who commanded the winners in that battle? Was it Octavian, Don Juan of Austria, or Admiral Nelson?
That's a pretty mixed bunch, isn't it? Really, you don't. That's like a joke. Don Juan, Octavia, and Admiral Nelson hopped into a bar or something like that. Right, next one.
Right, and the third one is: which first-century emperor of Rome was executed after he was found hiding in a dog kennel? Was it Caligula, Vitellius, or Domitian?
Okay. All right. Well, look, that's 3 good questions with possible Roman answers as well. So we're clawing back to the Ides of March. So we will, and I don't think there were the pas d'Answer Français. So we just have the music to bring us to the French quiz thing.
Question, comment les voir? Question, le trou est sans fond. Question, la légende le dit. Question, elle dit aussi. Question, c'est une maladie. Question.
Well, it could have been a French head of state who served in the Ottoman army in the First World War.
I suppose it could. It could well be. Yeah. But maybe that's a clue. Maybe we should remove the clues.
Maybe it's a red herring.
Okay.
Herring Rouge, as they say.
An Herring Rouge, the Herring Rouge.
As they don't say.
You may just have named this podcast there, Andy. The episode may be called Le Herring Rouge, I suspect. A bit like the old Phil Rouge that they used to have on it to knock out.
Right. You played your joker.
Played your joker, Eddie Waring.
When you say ni haut to French people, they look at you completely like you're mad and go, "What the fuck are you on about, mate?"
As long as you don't say, listen very carefully, I will say this only once.
It's only once. Yes, indeed.
It's not crossed La Manche. Ni haut.
I think La Manche.
No, exactly. La Manche. But Caen Castle is very impressive. So if you're ever taking the ferry to Weestream, which I believe is how it's pronounced, not Weestram, you should stop and look at Caen Castle because that's very jolly.
We were going to have a holiday there, but it got kiboshed by COVID. But
okay,
we're going to dust off the plans one day. Maybe go back to Normandy.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're ever in Normandy, you've also got Festiland, which is one of the Festiland, which is one of the worst fun fair type amusement parks I've ever been to. It's all right actually, but it's not great. But if you got an afternoon in the family, Festiland would be my tip.
Well, we were about 2 weeks too early to go.
in Lancaster in Pennsylvania.
That's true. That's pretty grim. But we were just too early for the Viking theme park to be open. It only opens at the beginning of April. Otherwise, we could have gone around the Viking theme park. I don't think it's Viking rides. I think it's people just sort of dressed as Vikings, and you walk around them and go, and then they go, "We are French. We don't know what you're talking about." So, or something like that. But no, indeed. So, have we got anything happening in the immediate future, or have we just talked about Salute already? Are we kind of done and dusted on that? Is there any other things happening?
The only
campaign in May.
Yeah, campaign.
Yeah, that's true. But we might do another one.
And the challenge.
And the challenge in June.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a long way away. So we're actually almost on a bit of a break from gaming at the moment, with a bit of luck. Until that's possibly it. Yeah, that's good. Wow, happy days. We might get some painting done. There might be some things to do. So just one quick wrap up then, running along the top. Mr. Saunders, have you got anything particularly exciting you're looking forward to in the next few weeks other than Salute?
Easter, not working.
That'll be good. Okay, good answer. Tamsin, what about you?
Easter and Salute.
Yeah, Easter and Salute. It's all egg based. Andy,
Passover starting tomorrow
Passover,
night.
exactly.
But I do get to trot out my Escape from Egypt game with a chariot.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
that's always the highlight of the year. We'll be coming live from the Finkel Arena to watch that on a podcast or something like that, video podcast. Mr. Warsdale, you're now happy to be able to buy little bit shield transfers in the right numbers.
I'll be able to do that, but also starting this American Civil War campaign soon. We had a game of Fire and Fury recently, just to remind myself of the rules. And What is the one learning that you should never forget about Fire and Fury? And I forgot it.
Stand in a line and shoot. Don't attack.
Yeah. No, the one learning is it doesn't matter how good the attack you set up is.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw it off. They're fun but frustrating set of rules.
Yeah,
so
they are absolutely. That's good. Okay, Simon, what about you?
Easter salute. Looking forward to painting 25mm Greeks.
25mm Greeks, getting them all done. Good. I think for me, it's getting two, possibly three battle reports out. I think I've got Beachhead video coming out tomorrow, which may be before this podcast comes out. I've got the road trip to Normandy is nearly done, and then I've got to kind of write up the car crash of warfare and my warbands, and then it's kind of a bit of a big old break for me until the next thing, which I'm not even sure is until June, perhaps for me, gaming wise. So I think on that note, we've actually rattled through this pretty quickly, and that may allow me to bang this out pretty quickly as well. So for everybody, we'll be back with other podcasts between now and then, which are different themes. But for this one, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, everyone.
Bonsoir.
On the fleur.
It was good to actually see Romans on the table.
I think I managed to see one legionary all weekend who was in a Seleucid army. So my theory of pouring warband onto legionaries didn't really work at all.
This means war.
Ni ho, ni ho, ni ho.